Well, hello. So, yeah, hi. It's been a bit, and I've got a lot of things I actually really want to talk about and stuff. I was going to do these as their own individual video, but I'm starting to think I kind of want to do these for their own current video right now. Mostly because I have so many of them, and I figure why not. Also, ignore that on my hand. I had a stupid situation. Yeah, don't ever crush a can. Don't ever think that because a can is sitting down, you could just... No. No, that hurt. That hurt really bad. So we're going to be talking about these guys. Specifically, maybe not the Endo series, but, you know, the other ones, you know, these guys. These ones right here. These ones. So there they all are. Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, Golden Freddy. And then here are the microphones. Whoopsie, there we go. Golden Freddy's is the all black one, and regular Freddy's is the one with the silver. So I don't know why they're different. My only reasoning why that is because, like, oh, well, he's the OG, the original, the older one. So he's going to have the much old school type of mic, or it's like, I don't know. It made sense in my mind. Honestly, it's weird because the Funko one has the silver on the microphone. I don't know. I digress. But yeah, no, there's the microphones. I do have them. I just don't have them in the hands because they do kind of pop out relatively easily. And yeah, so we'll look at Frederick Fazington first. Good old Freddy. Honestly, a lot of people, like, say what you will about these toys, but I think they're great. I think there's something special here. I think they are wonderfully made. I think they are very well colored. I mean, they look like toys, obviously. They're very shiny, very plasticky, very kind of like cheap a little bit looking. Not really feeling, though, but looking. And in all honesty, the way that it was described with these was like, okay, so the Endo series is for, like, you know, people who love the game, fans of the game. The world of is literally the world of, air quotes for you there, where, yeah, these are basically like the in-game universes thing where it's like, yeah, if they made toys like in, you know, in that universe, this is what they'd look like. And I'd believe it because, I mean, it's you know, Fazbear Entertainment. They're gonna look a little, you know, different from the source material. But as far as that goes, I mean, yeah. And it's not that far-fetched even, because in, at least from what I remember in FNAF 4, they did show some of the toys, and they did have, like, you know, I think the OGs and the toy animatronics. Which is weird because I'm like 90% sure, well, no, I'm 100% sure that the toy animatronics didn't even exist at the time. Because that was, I don't think that was Fredbear's Family Diner. I think that was just the regular place. But they did have Spring Bonnie and Fredbear on stage. I don't know, details. Case in point, they did have these toys. Like, some of the little characters did have these figures. Not these specifically, but they did have character figures, whatever. So yeah, he does the jump scare. My Freddy's a little bit weird, because his arm, this one specifically, and I will show this right now, Golden Freddy does not do that. Just regular Freddy. And you know, could be arguing like, well, you can move the arm forward. Yeah, but then look how much further that sticks out as opposed to his, which it's not a major, actually it is a pretty big difference. I'm just gonna hold it side by side so it's not like, they're not spooning, okay, pride's over. I mean, I guess it's the same, it's just, well, no, it's not, because Golden Freddy's is a little bit more to the side, whereas Freddy's is like at a slightly higher angle. I don't know. It doesn't personally bother me. I don't know if I articulated that well enough, but yeah, no. But yeah, he's got his little screw covers, they all have this. Honestly, I like that they added these. I wouldn't have minded if they didn't, because again, hi, these are, they're toys. But I do like that, an effort was made here, and yeah, no, that's really cool. Obviously, Freddy doesn't have his, he doesn't have paw pads and stuff, so, which is fine, because apparently, I say that because Chica has them, but Freddy doesn't. Other than that, I think Freddy is a really, he's a solid figure. It took me a while to find him. I found Bonnie before I even found this dude, which is surprising because Bonnie's my favorite. Moving on to Bonnie. Now, Bonnie is very specific because Bonnie has smaller hands. Obviously, he has, smaller hands. You can see that's, and a lot of people also complain about that, how it's like, why does Bonnie have such teeny tiny little hands? I don't know, I feel like I'm very biased with these toys, because I think he's Bonnie, he's cute. He's got a little schmutz on his ear. I think that's, I don't know, I think that's just like a piece of fuzz. Whatever. Ugh. I think it looks great. I think his little hands, they're pretty cool. He's got, like, no paw pads either, which, again, is fine. And again, he's got, like, the screw coverings. He looks a lot more blue on camera than he does in hand. In hand, he looks more purple. He looks almost as purple as the Endo series, which is weird because this looks more blue to the eyes than the Endo series, which is a little bit confusing, but that's okay. People do complain about these a lot, saying like, oh, there's just something about him. He just looks off. He doesn't look like Bonnie. And I can see that. I can see that. I'm not disagreeing. He does look a little different. But it's still nice. I mean, basically he's Freddy. From, like, the head down, he's Freddy. Minus the hands. Pretty sure he is. Yeah, and I'm like 90% sure. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that he is. Sorry, I had to bring it up to my face to look. Maybe the bow tie's a little bit lower on Bonnie than Freddy. I think the bow tie actually is lower on Bonnie, because you look on Bonnie's neck, you don't see the holes. Whereas there, you see like a hole right there. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. I'm going to assume it's basically the same because it makes sense. They have the same body. The only real disappointment about Bonnie, at least to me, I mean, the little hands don't bother me. The way he looks doesn't bother me. It's the fact that he doesn't have his tail. That's what bothers me. Because the Funko figure had a tail, and, every other Funko iteration of Bonnie had a tail, like Chocolate Bonnie, Easter Bonnie, regular Bonnie, re-release Bonnie, Toy Bonnie, the System Air Toy Bonnie specifically. But yeah, he doesn't have a tail. And that kind of hurts me a little, because I thought Bonnie was supposed to have a tail. And I like that all the toys, and for the most part, all the plushies, most of the plushies also have a tail. I don't know if the Jazwares one has a tail or not, but, it's fine. His jump scare action, I mean, his mouth doesn't open until you, get, you really gotta push that button in to get his mouth to open. And even then, his mouth doesn't really open all that much, but again, it's not that big a deal. I think he looks great for what he is. Now look at Foxy. Say what you want about Foxy, about how he's got a really thick neck, and obviously I will openly point out that his shorts, his pants, they're not the right color. They're supposed to be brown. And again, this doesn't really bother me because considering again the whole world of situation, it's not a problem. He looks good for what he is. I wish he had the golden teeth, though. The Funko. Because the Funko, they at least painted one tooth gold, but he just has all white. And it's also weird, because the Ringmaster Foxy, which I don't have yet, he has a painted tooth. I think he's got at least one or two golden teeth. That's weird that this one doesn't, but he does. Strange. I don't know. It's just an observation. Other than that, he's got great jump scare feature. He's actually really easy. I think he's the easiest one to actually do this with because, well, he's the tiniest. He has obviously the better range of articulation. He's got a very thick neck. Again, screw hole covers. Yeah, no, he is, like, the big neck, you don't really notice it too much from the front. From the back, yeah, he's got, like, that, I think his name is Kane Hodder, the one that played Jason in one of the Friday the 13th movies. I want to say it was Kane Hodder. It was something Hodder if it wasn't Kane Hodder. Moving on. The neck doesn't really bother me too terribly much, and whoop, almost fell. And yeah, no, his eyes look fine. Well, because he only has, the one. His eye looks great. His expression is about what you'd expect from a Foxy. He does have, like, a little bit of black paint for, like, I guess those are wires inside. And right here. I don't think he has it on the back. Oh, he's got some. Isn't that cool? And obviously his shorts are more of a burgundy than a brown, and his legs are, and his hand, like, it's basically modeled after the Endo, except he's got 2 toes instead of 3, which I think is nice. It's very nice, actually. I do wish that they came with accessories, because again, Freddy and Golden Freddy came with their microphones, but Bonnie no guitar, Chica no cupcake. I'm rambling. It's fine. So here we have Chica. She actually, in my opinion, they all look good, but I think she looks the best out of all of them. Like, again, they all look like their characters, like, respectfully, their own characters, but she looks great. She is the proper proportion. She also has silver toes. I don't know if she has that with, like, the normal figure. Whoopsie, I had a itch on my cheek. Yeah, no, her leg is a little bit loose, but that's fine. I don't know if the Endo series had, like, the silver toes. It probably did. I don't know. Obviously, there's nothing on the back. The bib is full on the back, and again, there are her little pads, which I really don't remember any of the characters having, for that matter, except for, like, maybe Freddy, but, And obviously, with her, if you pull her mouth open all the way, you can kind of, like, have it slightly open. At least with her, she does that, and my withered Bonnie does that. So yeah, that's cool. One small little complaint that I have about her is her bib. It looks great. Like, don't get me wrong, the printing and the colors are beautiful. Better than Funko's. But the little fleckles of color, if you look at any other Chica, like the Funko Chica or the toy Chica from Jazwares, their bibs have, like, all the, triangular patterns, whereas this, if you've ever seen, like, one of those oversized white jawbreakers in, like, a big box at, like, a candy store or something, that's kind of what this reminds me of, where it's just kind of, like, fleckled with, like, yellows, oranges, reds and blues, a little bit of green, and it's not bad. I don't hate it. It's a little weird that the other Chicas have, like, the triangular patterns, and she just kind of, like, fleck, 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 and, that's what you got. That's, all well said and done. Like, that's fine, I guess. It does the job. She looks like Chica. She also has the right colored eyes that Funko neglected to do for her, which, finally, they're not that pink, like, obviously on camera, everything's a little bit brighter, so her eyes look a little bit more pink, whereas IRL, they're a little bit more of a purplish pink. Almost like the old school, like, plastic cups and stuff that they used for, Chuck E. Cheese, back in the day, and I think they still do that today with, like, the translucent purplish pink cups. I don't know. I like Chuck E. Cheese. It's kind of what inspired this whole thing, which is also why I really like Five Nights at Freddy's. Now we'll just go over Golden Freddy real quick, because there's not really much to say about him that I haven't already said about Freddy. You know, he's a good figure. He's really solid. I think he's great. I honestly... Oh, mine has like a little bit of dark smudging on the tum-tum. You know, that doesn't bother me, actually. I kind of like that. Considering these don't have any weathering on them at all, except for the wizards, of course. It's interesting how they went with, like, you know, the the brown on the inner ear and eyelids, whereas, I think regular Golden Freddy from Funko had, like, just, like, this shade of yellow for, like, right here and the eyelids and stuff. You know, then again, I think these were mostly based off of the AR game. You know, the one that doesn't exist anymore. Not Help Wanted. Whatever. Special Delivery. Which doesn't bother me. I mean, again, that also explains why they're shiny. But again, the whole world of... I don't know how many times I could do air quotes with that. As many as I want, I guess. But yeah, no, he's standard. A lot of people say he's highlighter yellow or pea yellow, and they just don't like him because he doesn't look, you know, that good. I think he looks great, personally. Again, I'm very biased because I'm going into this toy line with the same mentality that I went into, like, the Five Nights at Freddy's movies with, where it's like, it's not fully, you know, canon or whatever. It's just going to be, you know, full of references. It's a movie orientated and themed around something I like. Take it with a grain of salt, or believe it if you want. I personally think the movies are just a fun little thing. They're not really canon. They can have their own, like, subplot going on like the books. Doesn't have to make sense or fit in. It's its own thing, and I like that mentality. It keeps things open and fresh. And also take it back, Golden Freddy has, like, the easier button push mechanic outside of, you know, Foxy. Foxy's easy, but his is smooth. Oof, that's actually really fun to do. I need to stop because I'm just going to keep playing with it if I keep doing that. And, you know, yeah. Was hers yellow? Nah, hers was yellow. Okay. I just had to check because I thought that all theirs were, like, different. Because I saw his, and his is obviously grayish silver, and I thought all theirs were that color. No, I'm just a dummy. Whatever. But, you know, he's the same as Freddy. He's just different colored, and I think that's really cool. And I honestly like repaints anyway. I'm a sucker for that, especially if you know or play any other games or what have you, or, like, you know, example, Mega Man. When he defeats, you know, a boss, he gains their ability and he changes color, like, you know, different color palette. And I kind of like that. So it's like, you know, this is regular Freddy, and this is, like, I don't know, Lemon Freddy. Not really, obviously, it's Golden Freddy. But it still looks really cool. Like, that's the mentality I'm going in with that. Again, it's different. And for the microphone, they fit. It's not very secure. If I found out that if you just take the mic and just push it down a little bit, not super hard, just enough, to the point where the thumb kind of either overlaps or kind of sandwiches that little Saturn ring looking thing on the actual mic, it doesn't go anywhere. You can do this as much as you want, and he's not going to drop that. It's not going to go flying. It's still in his hand. Honestly, I wouldn't even bother doing the jump scare with these in their hands out of fear of them just launching them, because Freddy did that when I first got him, and I was like, oh shoot, I lost his mic, and then I found it, and I was like, oh, never mind, here it is. So you gotta be careful. Other than all of that, I do have all the Funko figures. I was going to do a side-by-side comparison, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really care. I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't want to have to, like, take the figures off and put them all back up later. Obviously, I'd have to dust them first, and that would be... I have allergies. I don't feel like being stuffed up any more congested than I already am. Yeah, they don't look as classy together as the OGs do, but, you know, it's fine. They're still cool. Hi, it's Toy Freddy. I actually got all 4 of these in a box set, which I believe I have the box for right over here, oddly enough. Is this it? Nope. Is this it? Yup. Wha-bam! There it is. It's a bit, you know, the box has seen better days, unfortunately. I mean, that's basically how it came. I just kind of, like, kept it. I mean, not all of this is from, like, shipping, but, like, you know, like that, whatever. Case in point, yeah, they were all in a 4-pack. When I found out that they had these at Target, I went on the website and I ordered one. Now you can't even find them anymore. Like, I looked on Target, you can't get, you know, the 4-pack on, at least on my Target website in my area. I can't find them. Which is weird. It is what it is. Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll look to see if I can't find Ringmaster Foxy and Magician Mangle that way. Thought for later. But yeah, we have Freddy. I actually really like Freddy. Like, he is a great toy. And granted, people do say that, you know, the Toy Freddy World of and Toy Freddy Endo series have the same sized hands. And that is true. They do. Which, yeah, albeit it's a little weird. It doesn't take away too much when you really think about it or look at it. I thought something was wrong with his elbow. No, that's just how it's always been. Yeah, no, their hands are the same. It doesn't bother me, honestly. Like, if you have them on, like, the same shelf and they're not, like, directly even if they're directly next to each other, like, you might notice if you're that OCD. I'm fairly OCD, but me, it doesn't bother me. Honestly, the normal one having these giant hands and then the Endo having his size hands, it looks normal on both ends. I don't know. It's weird. It's, you know, it's an observation, a small nitpick, but I don't mind it. Especially since, this came before the Endo series, so I feel like this dude, you know, he gets a freebie on that. Obviously, he's very round and stuff. His button likes to stick a little bit. But, you know, that's just mine personally. And apparently the one in the 4-packs have the better paint than the single-carded ones, which I guess that's true. I don't know. Whatever. He's got his little red painted ring, whatever, on his hat. He's got his rosy cheeks. His eyes do glow in the dark, really bright, by the way. And his articulation is pretty solid. I mean, obviously, I believe normal Freddy has more articulation than this goober, but, you know. I kind of wish he came with his microphone since Freddy came with his, but then again, these were, like, the very first figures that came out, you know, not long after the movie had dropped, because, actually, I don't remember when these came out. I'm not gonna gaslight myself by talking about it. We're just gonna, like, move along and, you know. Little Bonnie, actually just, there you go. He's got his eyelashes. The Endo series does not. He's very blue. Like, he's very brightly blue. And his jump scare is easier to do than Freddy's. His doesn't get stuck. But then again, he's also tinier in comparison. And, well, yeah, he has better articulation because much of the way of Foxy over there, he just, you know, put his arms in a little bit more, etc., etc. His tail also is removable. I thought about gluing it in at some point, but then I figured, no, I kind of don't care to, and I feel like that would take away more than add on to the figure. I kind of like that that's removable. Me as a kid would be like, oh, he's got a projectile, take this off. Bunny bomb! Type thing, I don't know. And I kind of like that as, like, an unintentional play feature. Like, that's the part of, like, that's the best part of toys. You're supposed to, like, use your imagination with stuff, and I do like that. Again, at least he has a tail, as opposed to, you know, the other Bonnie. But I like both all the same. And I didn't bother putting Mangle together, mostly just because, like, he goes together. He, she, it, I don't know. I think Mangle's a guy. I don't know. I'm just gonna say he for the sake of argument. You know, Mangle's great. I do like them. But, you know, he falls apart really easily, and I do like the way the Magician Mangle looks in comparison, because Magician Mangle has like a much different design to them, whereas this is like very thin, plasticky, very fall aparty, very, like it's hard to get anything on the ball joints, and then once they're used to being on there, they just plop off. So we'll just go ahead and show off the jump scare feature for this little guy. I never understood why Mangle had 2 heads. It's one animatronic. Why do they have 2 heads? I never understood that. Where is your thing? Where is the button? Oh, it's on the back, on the bottom. Well, I know it's on the back, but on the bottom, I didn't... Mangle's an enigma. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I love the Mangle figure when it's put together on display. To play with, he's still fun to play with, don't get me wrong. It's just, he falls apart easily, and he doesn't go together as easy as he comes apart. It's a little bit of an enigma. Also, that bow tie does come off. It's a little peg joint, so if your bow tie ever falls off, just know that's a peg. Alright, now moving on to Chica. And obviously, same jump scare feature. Hers is a little bit more gummy. Like, she has like you gotta press a little bit harder to get the arms to go up. Whereas Bonnie, at least mine, his arms go up like very smooth. Hers, you really gotta try. Not like really, but a little bit really. And this is what I mean, by the way, with the triangles on the bib. Obviously, you can see it looks like Donkey Kong 64 font. I just now noticed that. That's weird. Let me grab normal Chica. See, you have like more of like smudges. Some triangles, but smudges. Mostly triangles. That's weird how that works. Not bad. Also, regular Chica is a much brighter yellow than Toy Chica, which I kind of like that more, honestly. But, it's Toy Chica. Megan Fox. Same old thing. Bib is not complete on the back, which is, again, why I mentioned the whole FNAF AR game, special delivery. Because I think that model doesn't have, like, it's basically this on the back, whereas, yeah, I guess the regular whatever art or model for Chica, Toy Chica, is complete on the back. I don't know. It's its own thing. Whatever. I'm gonna just move along. I'm not even gonna, like, do a little cut, because it's just, like, 2 more toys. We got Withered Bonnie, and he is really good with his articulation. I like him. Again, you move his jaw down and it does stay. You move it back up and it does go back into place. He's nice. He is also dirty looking, which I do like the dark wash that they did for him. It's a little weird that they had the Endo face as Endo 01 still, and they still opted to give him an upper jaw. I guess that was just to maintain continuity between, this and the Withered Bonnie Endo series, where, you can't remove the upper jaw. It'd have been cool if it were like a thing that you can unpeg and stuff, but then you'd also probably lose that just as easily as, And, yeah, there's the back of him. He's very dirty indeed. But again, I like that. And overall, just with how they did these, I don't really care if it's not as accurate as it could be. I like that an effort was made. I like that an effort was put in and made for this. That specifically. The last FNAF 2 figure that I have is this. The Marionette. Which I will openly let everyone know. Hi, there's a button down here. It has to be pushed in, or this will not, pop out. It won't turn. Granted, you can still, turn the knob. I don't know. It just won't pop out, but I'm pushing it down, and there they are. that's basically all that is. That's literally all this is. It doesn't do anything else. You know. You'd think this is stupid because of how little it does, and the fact that the puppet herself is not like sorry, my eye was itchy. The fact that she is not like a figure that can be removed. She's just kind of like in here as her own little floppy thing. You know, it's fine, honestly. It doesn't bother me. Like, I feel like this would, number one, this would probably be easy to break if she were her own figure, but I still would have appreciated if they did something like, you know, Mangle for the marionette. And I don't know, I don't understand the fact that she does, you know, this, like, arms can flop down or move down, but then come back up. Because here's the thing, when you put her back inside, they don't expand out all the way down to the bottoms of the corners there, which they can. I don't know, it's weird. She's weird, but she is a really solid toy. Like, she's fun to mess with. She's fun to play with. He says as he does try to do one-handed. Come on. Whee! Like, I don't know. That doesn't bother me. I actually really like that. I like the simplicity of this toy. I do like that, you know, these are kind of permanently together. Again, it would have been nice if she were her own figure. Of course, I don't know how this would have worked. Maybe you would have, like, folded the legs or taken them off. What have you. But, I don't know. For what it is and what they did, I think this looks pretty good. And you can also just always display her like that, or just put her back in and then just display the box like that. And then that's, you know, that's good enough. You know what this is. You can tell what it is. I don't have Withered Chica, I don't have Withered Freddy, and I don't have Withered Foxy. Those are the only three Withereds that I am missing. As is, you know, it's fun to collect toys. Like, it's something I'm gonna work towards and, you know, try to finish that series, but, you know. But, you know, these are like, you know, all these toys, just right here. This right here, that's worth it. That's cool, in my opinion. This is what I like whenever I collect, like, a bunch of FNAF stuff. You just put them all in a pile and then be like, look at that. Look at that pile of toy. Look at these little goobers, these little collectibles. I don't know, I'm weird. I like the simplicity of these, and I like how they fit together in terms of, like, not only they look, you know, great, but the office set, that looks amazing. And you can comfortably fit all 5 of the Wave 1 figures in the office. I don't know about Wave 2 because of that thing, but, you know. And there's way more figures in Wave 2 because you got, like, you know, the toy animatronics, the withered animatronics, and then you have that thing. I digress. I think these are cool. I was going to talk about the Endo series, but I think this is good enough as is, where, you know, just the world of. Just the world of. I might do Endo series video at some point. I know someone asked me to take a look at Withered Bonnie, or do a video on him. Not this one, but obviously the Endo. Yeah, no. I will try to do that at some point. But, you know, these toys are great. I think these toys are awesome. They're wonderful. I like these a little bit more than Jazwares. Jazwares has good sculpt. No, Funko has good sculpt, but Jazwares, the fact that they stay together, you know, you can't switch limbs around and stuff, which that was the main gimmick, which made sense, you know, like parts and service, much like the Five Nights at Freddy's Hex plushies. I love those. Thank you, Daco. You gave me something to collect while I was waiting to find these in stores. I can confidently say and happily say that most of these, well, maybe not most, actually, never mind. I was going to say most of these were found in store. No, because I had to order these three from Jazwares' website. I found these three in stores, and well, these four in stores, and I ordered these three, from Target. It's fine. I like it. I don't know. Whether you like them or not, whether you think they're goofy or not, whether or not you think these are, I don't know, valid replacement for Funko, love them or hate them, they are here to stay, at least for now and onward. And I think they're great.